बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम रब्बी श्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़्दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली. Assalamu alaikum students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine and in good health. So students, today we are going to start chapter 12, which is Muslim scientists, philosophers and travelers. You know what? It was indeed the golden age of Islam in the period from the 9th to 15th centuries. It is remarkable how in the past the great men were so broad in their knowledge, not just as mathematicians or scientists, but as poets, writers, philosophers, and artists. Basically, that period was called the zenith of the Muslim world. Look at your book on page 55, it's mentioned that period was called the zenith of the Muslim world. And here zenith means the time at which something is most powerful and successful. So the Muslim scientists and philosophers or travelers that we are going to know about as are given. Alright. So Ibn Battuta, Al-Biruni, Ibn Rushd, Al-Khwarizmi, Ibn Khaldun, Ibn Sina, Umar Al-Khayyam. These all are the Muslim scientists and philosophers or travelers that we are going to study in this chapter. So let's start it with Ibn Battuta. Okay. So he was a fantastic traveler. Ibn Battuta basically was born on 24th February 1304 in Tangier, Morocco, and died in 1368 in Morocco again. He was an early Muslim traveler and covered about 120,000 kilometers, which is equivalent of 3 times around the equator. इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर उनके सफ़र को मैयर किया जाए तो वो तकरीबन इक्वेटर के इर्द गिर्द 3 चक्कर लगाने के बराबर है. ठीक है, इतना डिस्टेंस जैसे 120,000 किलोमीटर्स का जो इनका ट्रैवलिंग मेजरमेंट है, ये बिल्कुल इसके इक्वल है कि अगर वो इक्वेटर के इर्द गिर्द 3 चक्कर लगाएं तो इन 3 चक्कर में इतना डिस्टेंस कवर हो जाता है. ऑलराइट. सो ही स्टडीड लॉ just like his other family members. So his account tells us about the Black Death, which spreads across the Europe, Asia, from China and all the other world, about the middle of 14th century and its impact on Baghdad. इब्न बतूता ने बेसिकली अपनी हिस्ट्री में ये लिखा है कि तकरीबन 14th सेंचुरी में ताउन की एक बीमारी जिसे ब्लैक डेथ के नाम से जाना जाता है, वो सेंट्रल एशिया से मेडिट्रेनियन और फिर यूरोप से नॉर्थ अफ्रीका तक फैल गई थी. ताउन की बीमारी उस बीमारी को कहते हैं कि जैसे चूहों के मरने के बाद या चूहों से जो बीमारी स्प्रेड होती है उसे ताउन की बीमारी कहते हैं और उसे प्लेग भी कहा जाता है. तो बेसिकली ये तब की बात है जब इब्न बतूता सीरिया में सफ़र कर रहे थे और व्हेन ही रीच डेमस्कस द डेथ टोल वाज 2000 पीपल पर डे. तो जब वो डेमस्कस पहुँचे जो आज का सीरिया है, तो वहाँ पे उन्होंने अपनी हिस्ट्री में ये लिखा है कि तकरीबन 2000 पीपल की रोज़ाना मतलब पर डे के हिसाब से उनकी डेथ कॉज हो रही थी. So basically overall the Black Death is estimated to have killed a quarter or a third of the population and animal as well. Got it? Now let's study the travel history of Ibn Battuta. At the age of 21, Ibn Battuta set off on a pilgrimage at Makkah. Then he first went up into Iraq and Persia, visiting parts of the Silk Road and cities such as Baghdad, Tabriz and Mosul. He then traveled along the east coast of Africa, spending time in Somalia and Tanzania, and returned to Makkah for Hajj again. Then Ibn Battuta next headed north, visiting the land of Anatolia, which is now a small part of Turkey, and Crimean Peninsula. He visited the city of Constantinople, which is now in Istanbul, and then began to east into India. Once in India, he began to work for the Sultan Tughlaq of Delhi as a judge. He left there after a few years and continued his travels to China. After spending over a year in China, rather than return home, he continued his travels. He went to Al Andalus, which was once a great Muslim empire of Spain. This is Spain. And they're headed back south into the heart of Africa to visit Mali and the famous African city of Timbuktu. The most interesting and the most important fact here is that when he returned to Morocco again in 1352, he then vanished from history until his death in 1368 or 69. However, this was when he had his travelogue compiled, and this is called Al-Rihala. So Al-Rihala was a book, it was a travelogue of Ibn Battuta, which was compiled by so many scholars of that time before he vanished from the history in 1368 or 1369. So, we are going to study about the second most important Muslim scientist, and that is Al-Biruni. He was the most famous Arab scientist of early times. Al-Biruni born in Uzbekistan in Central Asia and died in Ghazni in Afghanistan. He had command of many languages like Turkish, Sanskrit, Persian, Hebrew, and Syriac. But he always wrote books in Arabic. He wrote 113 books on medicine, geography, astronomy, mathematics, and history. Al-Biruni journeyed to India in 1017. His famous book was on India, also known as Kitabul Hind, in which he describes the customs, languages, and geography of the subcontinent in the 11th century. Some of the other books are Chronology of Ancient Nations, Canon, Astrolabial Densities, and he also wrote books on physics as well. Alright, 600 years before Galileo, Al-Biruni wrote that the earth rotates on its axis. Unlike Galileo, his ideas were accepted by religious scholars. Galileo एक वेस्टर्न साइंटिस्ट था और तकरीबन इसने बेसिकली ये डिस्कवर किया था कि अर्थ अपने एक्सिस के इर्द गिर्द रोटेट करती है, ऑलराइट. लेकिन यही कॉन्सेप्ट अल-बिरूनी ने गैलीलियो से तकरीबन 600 इयर्स बिफोर दिया था, जिसे रिलीजियस स्कॉलर ने एक्सेप्ट किया था. Got it? Okay, thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, confusions or queries, then you can ask me.